Hey yarn friends, welcome back to LlamaMamaKayla's YarnTube. I'm your host Kayla, and I'd like to say thank you for stopping by for a visit today. And I appreciate everyone who have subscribed and all the new subscribers. And I just want to thank everyone for sticking with me and hanging out and watching my videos. I truly appreciate it. So with that being said, I wanted to give you a little update of what's going on with me. So today, Monday, the August the 17th, I have an appointment today with a surgeon, and I'm so glad to be finally meeting up with a surgeon to get my schedule for surgery to get my esophagus stretched and hopefully to remove some scar tissue, and also to discuss further surgery to prevent reflux and throwing up. I'm not sure if I want to go that route because when I'm nauseated and sick, I want to be able to throw up. But the reflux is really bad, and so that might be an option. I don't know. We'll discuss it today. But my esophagus is very narrow, and because I have severe reflux, that creates scar tissue in your esophagus when you do. And so this is something I have to have done yearly. And so it's not really that big a deal, except this time I think they're going to try to remove some scar tissue with it this time. I've needed to go and have it done for a good while now. But, and I was going to at the beginning of the year. And then, my sister passed away, and then, things were happening here, like we flooded, and just things that we had to deal with, and took me away from dealing with that. And then the COVID stuff started, and I didn't want to go anywhere near the hospital. Didn't want to have anything to do with that. Plus, they ended up not doing little simple surgeries and stuff like that at that time, too. So I just kind of put it off until I don't have a choice but to go. It's gotten so bad that I'm just eating oatmeal, grits, pudding, jello, and ice cream. And I told my doctor last week, I said, having ice cream for supper sounds all fun until you're still hungry. So I can't swallow, anything just about even my medicine. I'm having such a hard time getting it down. There's some of the bigger pills I'm just not getting down at all. And if I do try to get them down, then I'm throwing out my other pills. So I'm not getting my medications correctly because of that. So anyway, I'd appreciate prayers in that. And I hope that they can go ahead and schedule it pretty quickly and get it done and over with. Because I would just like to get back to normal life. And I'm sure I'm going to have a COVID test before I can have the procedure done. I dread that. I'm trying to think of the word. I'm very sensitive and just, I don't know. I just don't know how I'm going to handle that. They may have to sedate me to do the COVID test. I know some people say it's nothing to it, but just the thought of it kind of freaks me out and gives me a lot of anxiety. But anyway, so that's what I'm going to do today, is to meet with the surgeon and hopefully schedule the surgery to get it done. So I have some finished projects that I wanted to share with you guys. One of them being, this circle blanket. And if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably already seen this. But this is a very pretty blanket. I love how it turned out. I'm not sure if I'm showing the front or the back. That's the back, but it really doesn't matter with the granny square stitch here. But this turned out really lovely. And I used 4 skeins of the Red Heart Polo stripe. And that's all I had left. And then my Walmart had discontinued it. And my Michaels doesn't carry this. And I don't have a Joann's. And of course, Hobby Lobby doesn't have it. So I guess, it did 4 skeins, and that's what it is. So it's plenty of big enough for, this to make this size blanket. Now this circle blanket pattern is by, or the tutorial that I watched is from the Secret Yarnery, Krista. She did a wonderful tutorial on this. Her tutorials are so easy to follow. She's very clear about what she's doing and what round you're on and what you're supposed to do. So her pattern, her tutorials are great to watch. And so I used that tutorial, but I did change up a few things on here. On the rows that was going to be an increase row, 2 rows back, I put in a random increase somewhere in the blanket to make those increase rows work a little better. So if you were making the blanket, you'd understand that a little more. But anyway, that's what I did. But I love how it turned out. It really turned out. This yarn just worked up beautiful on that. Let's just see. And then last time when I went to the doctor, last time I actually had this in my bag and I was working on it. And the nurse just loved it. She thought it was very pretty. So I do wish that, I think blankets like this, circles or stars or whatever, I wish I had color controlled this so that it wasn't, purple and then 2 purples and the rest pink. That's the only thing. I didn't color control this at all. Just let it flow over how it was going to flow. But I do wish I had color controlled that one spot. I just think it would have looked a little better if the center and the row around it was, either all the same color or, it changed colors as it did the second row. But anyway, I'm very happy with that. And I'm going to make more of these in different colorways. And I finished the Yarn Inspiration pumpkin throw blanket. Now, Ella from No Catchy Name also did this blanket, and April from Be Wild by April Lee, she has done this blanket. And it seems like there's a couple more, but my mind is just going blank here. Okay, so this pattern is a Yarn Inspiration free pattern on the internet. And so I did mine a little different though. The squares on that pattern are the where you double crochet in every stitch going around and make the more solid circle. And that's the way Ella did hers and April did also. But I just really enjoy making granny squares. So I decided to make mine, the more this type of granny square. And also, when it got to the point of making the pumpkin faces, I had a little trouble making them and it turning out right, or I don't know. I wasn't into it. I just wanted to get the faces on there and get it done. And so I tried. I could never get like their triangles. And I would do like several of them and they wouldn't even match. It didn't look like they even belonged on the same face or anything. And so I just looked at the picture of what it was supposed to look like and kind of done my own thing. Like this mouth wasn't on there. I just kind of created this mouth. I think it was a squiggly mouth, but I just couldn't get it to turn out and look right. So I just made that mouth. And then this one down here, that is what they wanted theirs to look like. I mean, that's what theirs look like. And so on this part right here, I actually ended up doing, is it double crochets? I can't really see. I think it's double crochets. I took a ponytail holder, one of the stretchy elastic ponytail holders, a black one, and just did double crochets all the way around it and made my mouth. And then the boo, I did follow their directions on the boo. And then, is there one down there? On this one, I made my own mouth up. I don't know if you can see that very well. I just kind of made a different mouth. And then on this one right here, they did have one with buck teeth, but I didn't use their directions. I just made my own. and put on there. But anyway, this is made with Red Heart Super Saver pumpkin. No, yes, pumpkin. The black is a Craft Smart. The gray is Red Heart Super Saver. The green is, I believe, Craft Smart. The purple is Red Heart. I think that's all the colors. So between Craft Smart and Red Heart Super Saver, I got this blanket completed. And it turned out to be a pretty large blanket. After I put the squares together, I went around it and I went around the whole thing in gray. And then I went around it one more time in black. So I like how it turned out. It's a cute, fall blanket. And I might do another blanket kind of like this style, but make it a Christmas blanket and just use kind of Christmas colors. And I don't know that I'll do faces, maybe just large granny squares with Christmas colors and put something together like that. So I do like how that turned out. And then, was there something else? I think that's the two main things that I worked on to get completed this past week. And then I had another project to pop up that I concentrated on for many, many days, trying to decide what to do and to get it right. But anyway, then this weekend I had, something I was going to mention when I was saying Craft Smart. When I went to Hobby Lobby the other day for that clearance sale, they did not have any Craft Smart. Like, it was wiped out. I don't know if it was marked down and somebody just bought it all, or if they're getting rid of Craft Smart. So if you have any information on that, if you know anything about that, let me know in the comments below, because I really do love using Craft Smart, especially for amigurumi type things and granny squares and different appliques and things like that. I like using the Craft Smart. I feel like it's a little bit of a thicker yarn and it feels really sturdy, and I just enjoy using it. So it kind of worried me not to see any on the shelf. It was, kind of a sad thought that they might get rid of it. I hope not. I hope somebody just purchased it all and they were going to replenish it. Okay, so a project just popped up over the weekend, and it wasn't anything I planned, but it just fell into my lap, and I just did it. So while I was cleaning the schoolroom, not schoolroom, this used to be our schoolroom. While I was cleaning my yarn room here, I found some of those Karen cakes that were in a bag, the little cupcakes. It's just the little cupcakes with the number 3 yarns. So I found some of these, and so I needed to put them away. Except this is where they go, in that box right there. So in order to put them in that box, I was going to have to move this stuff, move those books to put these in there. So I forgot, I don't remember if it was Elijah or Dakota was in here helping me. Well, they both did, but I don't know which one I said to this. That I said that they go up there, and they said, because they had already helped me, and they were tired and ready to go on and do their things. And there's like, is there anywhere else they can go? And so I said, give them to me. I'll just crochet them up. And so that's what I did. I had 3 cakes, and they're in the colorway of, besides that one, I had 3 different ones, and they were in the colorway Pumpkin Patch, which did have a lot of orange and yellow and reddish and some brownish in it. The other one was Sour Grapes, and it had purple and green in it. And then the third one is Cherry on Top, and it had red, white, and blues. Maybe a tiny bit of pinkish, but not really, really pink. But anyway, that was the 3 cakes I used. And so I just started making granny squares, and I used my 5.5 hook and just made 5 round granny squares. I'd go around 5 times. And so I ended up making 24 granny squares out of those cakes. Now, if you used a smaller hook, you could probably get more granny squares out of that. But out of the 3, I made 24, and I had this right here left over, which wasn't enough to do another full 5 rounds. So I made those squares, and then I was looking at the squares, and I was trying to think, okay, am I just gonna put them together and make a blanket? I could make some of those little baby jackets. It would be more like toddler jackets. And I was just trying to figure out what to do. And then I looked on Pinterest, and there was a pattern there that I remembered I had bookmarked. And so, because Dakota had asked me if I could make it, and so I went and pulled it up and decided to go with it. And I'll tell you about the pattern and stuff in just a moment. But this is what I made over the weekend, and I just recently just finished it. I made this big pillow with all the cats. So all these squares are from the little Karen cupcakes. And then I made all these little cats, and you can see their little whiskers. Try to show you all of them. I might pop a picture in of all of them. I don't know. Okay, and so on the back side is just the granny squares, and I didn't color control or anything. I just let it flow over how it was going to flow, which I think turned out to be pretty interesting. So the squares are the Karen cupcakes, and the cats are all just random scrapped yarn. Mostly, I would say, mostly Red Hearts or Crafter's Secret. Did I say Crafter? When I was talking about Hobby Lobby a few minutes ago, I don't remember if I said Crafter's Secret or Craft Smart, but we all know that Craft Smart is carried by Michaels and Crafter's Secret is carried by Hobby Lobby. So whatever I said, I meant to say Crafter's Secret. Excuse me on that. Anyway, so all these little cats, and you can see their little tails kind of dangle down. Some curl up and some kind of dangle. It's just ever how they want to do. But most of these yarns are, the scraps are either Red Heart or Crafter's Secret. And this green that I outlined it with is Karen Jumbo 1 pounder or whatever it's called. Yeah, 1 pounder. So I left one end open, so it's like a pillowcase where it could be taken off and washed, and you know, it's not permanently. I think I might sew a button and just kind of sew about 3 or 4 buttons on here and just kind of button that closed. I made this for Dakota, so I'll ask him if he wants that or not. And this end is sewn shut. So I put my squares together, and I laid out the pillow and made sure that it was going to fit and everything, which I really didn't know. I was just kind of winging it. And so I sewed the front squares together. I joined them, and then I did the back and joined the back side, and then I just laid it here on my desk. I put the back side out, and then I put the pillow, and then I put the top side on, and then I just kind of was crocheting around. I didn't know if actually it was going to fit. I just did a single crochet around the edge, because after I put this together, I did one border of granny square around each side, each piece, the front piece and the back piece, and then I just single crocheted that together. And I was headed originally on the pillow, because I didn't know if it was going to fit or not, and I was kind of just guessing and trying to see if it was going to fit or anything, you know. But it did, and so I just kept going. So I love how it turned out. I'm very proud of it, and you know, this was my weekend project, and Dakota likes it too. So the sad part about it is we're not going to have a fair this year, so I can't enter at the fair. I think that would be cool to enter in the fair. So I think that's all my finished projects. And then I had some unexpected, the only other projects that I worked on was some unexpected projects that I hadn't planned to work on, but ended up working on. The manager where Elijah works at Michael's asked him if I could make her a shawl. Well, so he texted me and asked if I could make her a shawl. And so I texted back and said, does she want like a large triangle shawl to wrap around her? Does she want a rectangle shawl, or does she want a more of a poncho that covers front and back? So he asked her, and she said a poncho. And she said a poncho with fringe. So then I asked what colors, and so he said that they were going to go look at the yarn. So as soon as he texted me that, I got to looking online for poncho patterns to find something to use and all, and I tried. I watched a lot of tutorials. And you know, people do great on tutorials. I mean, there's all kinds of tutorials for any project you want to make. There's going to be 10, 15 different tutorials on it, just about, you know, and you have to find the person who clicks with you and that you understand easily and all that. And so I watched several and just try and decide which one to go with. And I don't know, none of them was clicking with me. And I did try one and worked on it for a little while, but I didn't like how it started out around the neck. And so I ended up just taking parts of different videos and putting them, using parts that I liked from different patterns and making, you know, it my own, kind of to say, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't use just like one person's video. I used a piece of their instructions, a piece of another person's instructions, and a piece of someone else's instructions to come up with what I liked. So anyway, so I was trying different patterns and stuff to make a poncho. And then Elijah brought the yarn home. And this is the yarn that the lady had picked out. Homespun. I can loom knit with this all day long. No problems whatsoever. But to crochet with it is a booger. What is a booger is the foundation chain and stitching back into those chains. I couldn't do it. I tried and tried and tried, and I just could not do it. So I had to find a stitch that I could do with this yarn. And so that was my dilemma, finding something to do with this yarn to make a poncho. So I got out, remember the Karen cakes I got for $2.99 at Michael's? So I got out this one. This is cherry something. I got it out and was using it and just started a poncho to see, you know, what I was going to do. And after ripping it out several times and coming up with my own little, what I was going to do, I decided I was going to have to do the granny stitch with this yarn. That was the only thing I was going to be able to do this yarn with, was a granny stitch, because I just cannot go back into the chains with this yarn. And so I practiced for a little while on this just to see, before I started with that yarn. I just wanted to see how it was going to work up and if I thought it would be, you know, what she would had in mind. And so I decided on this. I didn't want my neckline to go, I wanted it to have a little bit of a neckline there and not just a chain and then the granny stitch. I wanted to either half double crochet, I think I half double crochet, or double crochet into that. And I went ahead and did a half double crochet to make this neckline, because I wanted it to have more of a neckline than just a chain and then granny stitches. So that's what I did. I worked on this for a little while to get comfortable and to make sure that that's what I was going to use that yarn for. So I'm loving how that's turning out, and I'm going to go with that. Remember, I have 2 more of these cakes. So I'm probably just going to make myself a big poncho with that. Okay, so back to the homespun that was sent to me to do this, and the color is Tudor, Tudor. It's very pretty, and it works out really pretty too. So on that yarn, I could not do the neckline like I wanted to do, so I had to just get I love this cotton, I love this yarn and this ivory color from Hobby Lobby, and do the neckline in it. And then that's the way the color is working up. Now I think that is working up beautifully in the granny stitch. This is how much I've got done of it so far. And she is a very she's a very short lady, like not much over 5 foot. So I'm gonna work on this a few more days. I'll probably take it to the doctor with me today and work on it while I'm waiting. And then I'll let Elijah take it to work and let her try it on and see how much further I need to go. But anyway, I think it's working up beautifully. Can you see those colors and how they're falling there? Now she sent this purple color that is a very gorgeous color. It's called Purple Aster. It's very pretty. So she wanted some of this in there, like stripes of this. And so as I was working on this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is working out so beautiful. I love this. Okay, so she wanted a stripe. So I was like, okay, let me put a stripe in. Although I felt like that was going to take away from the beauty of this. And it did. I put the stripe in. I was like, oh, I didn't put a whole stripe. I just did one side. And I was like, oh, I don't like that. It just stopped the flow of the beauty of it. And so I got another skein that she had sent, and I went ahead and started just right here to do this color, the purple stripe, and the red, another, one more stripe of this color, so it would show what it looked like. And so I took pictures of it, and I put, I wrote on there, with stripe and without the stripe. And I sent them to her and asked which did she like better. And she said, I think I like it without the stripe. What do you think? And then I told her, I said, I think the stripe stops the flow of the beauty, because I think the yarn is just flowing beautifully, and that stripe just stops the flow. And she agreed, and she said, yeah, let's don't do the purple. And then I told her, that when I get to the bottom, we might can try something with the purple. But I really don't know if it's going to look right or not, but I'll let her decide since it's hers. So once I make it, I'll put a purple stripe on one side and let her decide if she wants it to end with the purple stripe or not. Okay, so my dilemma is she wanted fringe on this, but honestly, I think that's just very, I think it's very beautiful. And I think fringe is going to take away, I don't want to say this looks elegant, but it doesn't look, I'm trying to think of the word. I'm not trying to say that it looks elegant, but I'm just trying to say it doesn't look like fringe would complement it. But also in the homespun yarn, if you've dealt with it, you really can't fringe that because it will end up like this. So I don't know, she really wanted something with fringe, but this yarn is not going to fringe. Only way I could think that I would be able to do that is take this yarn, tie a knot in the other end, and then try to fringe with it. But I don't know, that would take away from the easiness of making the fringe. But anyway, so that's the project I'm working on, and I'm going to devote my time to this week, trying to get this done for her, because Elijah said another lady found out I was making a poncho, and she's like, oh, I want her to make me one too. So I might end up having to make a couple more of these. So I want to devote my time to this week and get it completed for her. But I did mark on the back is where I'm joining. You can see right here, I'm almost to that spot, but when I get right here, I'll join. But you can't tell really where the join is. But I did put this little charm right here for her, and I'll leave that on there just so she'll know the back of the poncho. But anyway, I love how it's turning out, and I honestly kind of think I'd like to make me one out of the same yarn because I think it looks very pretty. But that's the project that I'm working on this week. Mainly, I'm going to work on the poncho, and then if I finish that, I may work on this other poncho, and probably just make some of the granny squares here and there. Even though I'm working on projects, a lot of times I'll just randomly make granny squares out of, you know, whatever's laying around, because that really does relax me, just to sit and make granny squares and watch TV, which this is, you know, granny stitch, so it's basically the same thing. But I really just like making granny squares. So I'm probably going to make these up into granny squares. I have a few of these sitting here, so I'll probably make those up into granny squares too. And then those little mini sugar wheels that I bought at Hobby Lobby, my idea is to make those up into granny squares also. And I may end up doing another type of pillow with this. I don't really need to keep just doing a bunch of blankets because we don't have the need for a lot of little blankets. So, but I can always have pillows cases if I leave it like this that I can change out for seasons and still use the same pillow, and that way I don't have to store pillows out of season. I can just take this off, fold it up, and it would fit in the, you know, holiday box or whatever. That's Phoebe yawning. And so I may end up making like some squares like this and make different pillows and such. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what I'll do, because I'm kind of a spur of the moment. Just whatever hits me at the moment, that's what I do. All right, guys, I'm going to get off here, so I will let you get going, and I appreciate you stopping by for a visit. Phoebe's yawning and kind of howling at the same time. I don't know what she wants. But again, thank you for stopping by, and I appreciate each and every one of you for subscribing and for sticking with me and watching my videos. It means a lot to me. So thanks, guys, and see y'all later.